Get this ship loaded and ready for sea. Let go stern lines, let go bow lines, let go aft springs. Tower off, Mr. Pitman.
She is towering high, broad and grand, ship of dreams.
So here we are on stage, prior to performance, an evening performance of the Titanic, the musical. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us today. Fantastic production.
Thank
Are
you.
you enjoying yourselves?
We are.
Do you know the sound of the overground?
No, that's the Titanic hitting another iceberg.
When that first happened, I thought it was something. I thought,
I think
they're
it's
doing
great.
these surround
it's
sounds.
great.
Yes. It's very atmospheric.
Well, and look, we've even got the balconies that look like.
And to be fair, it's not the only theatre in London where you get a little bit of a rumble now and then.
This is true.
Now,
This is
Philip,
true.
you played
Hi.
Captain?
Yes, I'm Philip Rham. I'm playing Captain Smith. And I think we're all three from the original production at Southwark Playhouse 3 years ago, wasn't it? Oh, 3 years.
It does feel like longer.
Scarlett, you play?
I play Kate Mullins
Yes.
and Lady Astor as well.
Yes. And Matthew?
I'm Matthew, and I feel like hello. My name is. And, I play Harold Bride in the show, amongst other characters. I also play a third-class character with no name.
But you must say Harold Bride is the radiographer.
Yes.
Radio
Yes,
man.
yes.
An
That's a
important
great
part.
role.
It is a really good role. Yeah, he is an integral part to the show.
But not as integral as the captain.
I'm not
Lady
sure
Astor.
we should dwell on that too much.
Excuse me.
He's responsible for
Not quite, because he's... there's a moot point.
There you go, okay.
Moot point. He's urged on by Ismay. Yes, the blame. Who is to blame? He should have really stood up to Ismay, but hopefully the show shows you the
It
pressure
does, yeah,
he's
yeah,
under.
yeah. Now, you mentioned the original production. Now, this is Southwark Playhouse 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was true.
And then you're going to Toronto. How did that happen?
Well, it was going to go to, with an American cast, we were all terribly disappointed, to open in Toronto, try out, and then go to Broadway. And we were saying, oh, I'm so happy for them.
Yes,
I'm so happy. We did all the work.
The show is getting another life.
With Tom, because Tom was
With
his
Thom
production,
Southerland.
Thom Southerland,
But
the
as
director.
luck would have it, or not, as the case may be, the theatre it was going to go into, the play that was on, got a Tony Award or something,
And had to
producers and had to stay. And lo and behold, 6 months, 7 months later, we got the call, "Are you free?" I think it's very exciting news.
Princess of Wales.
Princess of Wales Theatre, and the kind of proviso was that the guy who plays Isidore Strass was played by a big Canadian tenor,
Okay.
ex-Wagner opera star
We can
called
live
Ben
with that.
Hepner. We could live that, and we actually had a fantastic
What was
time.
it like, Scarlett?
It was probably one of the best times of my life.
Oh, Scarlett!
Mine too. Mine absolutely. Mine,
Cue the
without
music.
without a doubt. No, without a doubt.
No, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Toronto's an amazing
Lovely
place.
city.
Yeah.
I have never been there, but I believe it's really lovely. So now you're here at the Charing Cross
Yeah.
Theatre with Thom Southerland, the
Again,
director.
yes.
Watching the production, and this is the first time that I had seen this production, it struck me that he is very detailed. Is that fair to say? I
In
hadn't-
terms of the acting side of it, or
Just
in the actual
everything seemed to be
staging?
very particular, which was a great compliment.
Well, he knows that there are a lot of characters to focus on in the show, and then everybody can get lost if there isn't that amount of detail there, because you suddenly have to follow 16 different characters and their
Yeah.
different stories and stuff like that. So he has worked very hard to make sure that in the scene changes and in sort of extraneous moments in the show that aren't directly plot driven, he's tying in other stories. So yeah, he has been extremely detailed. And the more we do the show,
Yeah.
the more detail has gone in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So,
he
yeah.
knows his stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it 3 times, and it is pretty impressive. The detail he knows about Titanic and its background, and hence he has that confidence to really explain and pick up. He knows every word we speak, so we can't. Every word we sing, and he picks up, especially if you forget them or whatever. And
I hate that when the director knows
I know,
the
it's
script.
horrible. And you're sitting down in your song and you see him mouthing your words. No, don't do that. But there's also a credit due to Cressida Carre, who's the stager as well, because as you can see, It's Southwark. It's even smaller space
Yes.
than this, and it's what we call thrust.
Yes.
And you really, I think we're 20 of us, aren't there, in the
Yeah,
cast?
so-
And when we're all on, trying to those big staged pieces, it's an impressive feat.
This is it's almost a sung-through piece.
It is.
There's quite a lot,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
How
And
does that help with the storytelling, would you say?
I think it keeps it moving constantly, and then there's a through line because obviously there's repetition of certain small phrases and things.
it heightens the emotion
Yeah.
too.
It's
And
wonderful, the underscoring.
Yeah.
I think because that does
too much. It's
But
my
it does
bugbear.
Keep it down. I've got dialogue to do.
Yes, I said, how on earth can you expect me to act when I've got music?
Doesn't
and
it
I don't
help?
want to shout it.
Doesn't it help though when you?
No, I hope I'm a good enough actor to create the emotion of the moment without it having been supplemented by. But I realise that it works, and I go along with it.
Matthew, you have quite. It's a fun role insofar as the radiographer, you are the centre of very dramatic moments, and you sort of have little sides to people.
No, if the part is written to be funny, actually. I just remember doing the read-through and thinking, in 3 years ago, and thinking, right, I must bring some gravitas to this role.
Yes.
And then the read-through, everybody was laughing, and I thought, well, I feel like now this is the only road that I can go down.
But I mean,
But I'm trying very hard
you got the
actually to be
part.
quite serious. Yeah, I did. I mean, I really am trying to be serious, but he just ends up being quite strange, and as a result, he's quite funny as well.
Well, I
But
think comedy and drama go hand in hand, don't they?
yeah,
often?
and there are lots of moments in the show where, there are suddenly amusing moments in what has been quite high drama. But that makes complete sense as well.
but I think you lived through the second act. The second act is full on. It's huge emotion, compounded by the immense singing power we have on stage. So when we're all singing, all 20 of us can really sing. So you get that. Poof,
And being in
of
a
the
theatre
singing,
this
and
size.
so audiences need, because it's just so full on, one scene after another, immense emotion. So comic relief, as they say.
That lovely there's a couple of dance numbers in the show too that I wasn't necessarily expecting.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
rag,
Yeah,
the
the
first
rag.
rag,
Yeah.
and then there's
Very
sort
charming.
of charming near the end of No Moon, isn't there? There's a
Yes,
kind of waltz there.
A bit of a waltz.
Waltz,
Is this something that you're all used to doing, or?
I tend to shy away. I tend to say I move very well. I can play instruments, I can sing, I can act. Dancing,
That was the day you heard Thom Southerland say, "Cut the captain's dance solo."
I said during the rag, I don't think the captain would lower himself to dance. He should be up on the bridge observing everything.
Everybody does love that number, actually, because
Yeah.
the choreographer has
It's
spent
really
a lot of
charming.
time trying to make sure that it doesn't look like a dance number as well,
No.
because obviously that
Absolutely.
wouldn't happen. So the way that it very organically grows from a bunch of people very hesitantly
Yeah.
going towards...
Because, strictly speaking, we're finishing a Sunday service, and the rag at the time, 1912, let's not forget, it was like rock and roll to, it was horrendous for people of I'm a Victorian man. I'm a real old, well, not a fart, but I'm an old of the Victorian era.
What is it? What's going on? There's a terrible scream noise and we just stopped. What are we supposed to do now?
I'm going upstairs. I'll have a look.
I'll hold thee closely as I say goodbye.
So just kind of researching the time and what it was like in America, what it was like in Ireland, and watching the film and reading books on the Titanic and seeing what the third class would have been staying in, which is so different to, it was the luxury for them, it really was, all that, it was the way it was.
And I think that's what the show brings out, that of course the first class were there, but there was a whole load of people who were locked down below the third class that were using the Titanic and the second class to get to America. Well, it's certainly not Eyes and Teeth musical, that's for sure.
No.
You can't, especially in Southwark, we were forced, it is
This is not room
acting.
for the tap number.
Well, it's not just room for the tap number, but you can't
Very
fake it.
exposed.
You have to be in the moment.
Yes.
The emotions are so huge, you
That's a
just
good-
have to be there.
It's a good point when you're that close to the audience. There's no faking it.
Even here, actually. I mean,
Well,
you've got some
yeah.
people sitting in the slips here,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah.
They're looking up at you, and you can't...
The power of the singing, I have to say, without exception, congratulations to all of you.
Thank
without
you.
exception, the singing is wonderful singing.
It is great to be part of it
When
as well.
well, I was going to ask, when did you, at what stage of rehearsals, in the original production, did you think, wow, this could be really good? You know, so there's a time where you.
It's my first job.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
So I hadn't even graduated. So I went in the room and then
wow.
we were learning all the music, and then suddenly people were singing, and I was like, oh my gosh. And
He's really good.
yeah, and there was these fantastic sopranos, and I was just in awe. And I have to remind myself I had to also sing.
Well, I must let you get away so that you can prepare for
Thank
this
you.
evening's performance. Well, what's your favourite part of the show? I'm just interested.
Well, I want to say a scene that isn't my scene, but it is my scene. I just
You're allowed to say.
I know, I just like doing my scene a lot. Also, there's no underscoring either, so I just feel that I get a really nice moment to myself with one other person on stage. It's very selfish, but that is
You
my
mean your
honest
duo?
response. Yeah, my
Duo,
duo, yeah.
That's great.
It's
So,
a nice scene.
how about you, Scott?
Probably the opening, because it's so hectic. So when we run through here, we are sprinting.
Yeah.
So I can't actually enjoy it that much. But the feeling afterwards is so great. And when we all stand and then sing
Yes.
farewell.
It's sort of like an.
It's like I can
we're often
breathe.
running.
Yeah.
Because I've stopped my costume changes, and I've just been like, that 20 minutes was amazing.
That opening number
Yeah.
where everyone's.
Yes.
It is fantastic. And I love it when everyone's facing out and it feels
Yes.
like you get a sense of the ship and everything.
Yeah, so this is it. Well,
What's your favourite part?
my favourite
Captain?
bit is the few scenes up until the blame, when we come in to try and find the ship, and then the three of us are basically saying, whose fault is it? You did this to me. I love that number, to be honest
I think
with
it's
you.
fantastic because it's one of those
And,
scenes that's very hard to write, I think.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Sondheimey. It's very Sondheimey,
Yeah.
and but everything that he cleverly builds it up through the whole piece, and then suddenly, I won't say the pus of the thing suddenly bursts. But it's in a lovely way.
In a lovely way.
In a
yes.
lovely musical way.
A lovely.
Congratulations, have a great show tonight, and I can tell you that everyone on Live Theatre UK, just by the hits, they're enamoured with this show, so
Thank
I'm
you.
sure they'll be delighted to meet you.
Well, yes. I hope you come and see it if you haven't seen it already.